Obviously, LEGO sets are packed with Easter eggs and references, but did you know you can also find them on the packaging too? From things like this guitar blending in with the trim, to little stories like this hat falling off someone's head in the roller coaster set and ending up on the ground. There are a lot of little details you can find. So today, I'll be showing you 20 hidden details in LEGO packaging that you've never noticed before, starting with how to know what country any LEGO set was made in. When you look at a box for a LEGO set, obviously the main things you'll notice are the set you're going to build on the front, the LEGO logo, and maybe a few other things. But Bailey Fullerton decided to do a complete breakdown of the anatomy of LEGO boxes on BrickNerd, and he gave us some really cool information. Near the barcode where the set gets scanned in stores, there's another white box with a line of numbers and a letter. Now, this may seem like some random serial number that has nothing to do with you, which honestly it kind of is, but if you know where some of LEGO's manufacturing factories are, you'll be able to tell where that set in particular was made by the letter in the serial number. This set has the letter G, which means it was made in Jiaxing, China. The other 4 known LEGO factories are in Jareghaza, Hungary, Cienega de Flores, Mexico, Kladno, Czech Republic, and Perkersdorf, Austria, and they all have their own corresponding letter. The numbers also tell you the day, week, and year the set was made, so you can know exactly when it was made too. So the next time you buy a LEGO set, check out that serial number. But if you're buying a set with this pattern trim on the bottom, you're really gonna want to check that out, because most of the time, LEGO hides stuff like that guitar I mentioned in the intro. That one in particular is on the box for the Fender set from the Ideas theme, but this box design is used on loads of sets from different themes. It's in Marvel, DC, Icons, and way more. But if it's on that many sets, then surely there are a million little Easter eggs to find, right? And I'm about to show you all of them? Well, no. I was only able to find them on like 4 different sets, including the Fender set, but don't worry, they're still really cool. The next one I'll show you is on the box of the Luke's helmet set from LEGO Star Wars, and unlike the guitar on the Fender set, this one isn't just sitting right there on the front. Instead, it's on the bottom of the box, and there you'll find a pair of blacked out lightsabers. As you'll learn as I keep showing you these types of hidden details can be literally anywhere on the box, so if you're gonna go looking for some yourself, make sure you check the entire thing. Anyways, there's also something hiding on the bottom of the box for the Iron Man helmet set too. This one is a lot easier to spot, but there's a version of Iron Man's helmet sitting on a pedestal on this one. Now, both of these helmet sets have pretty small boxes, so they only had 1 Easter egg apiece. But when you look at something like the LEGO Batman Arkham Asylum set, it's a completely different story. This set has almost 3,000 pieces, so the box for it is pretty big. And that means there's way more than just 1 Easter egg hiding on the box. We've got the Batarang, Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, Batman's cowl, Diana's sword, Green Lantern's ring, Aquaman's trident, and a very hard to see Flash's cowl on the corner. Apparently, there's also a piece of kryptonite somewhere, but since I don't own this set, unfortunately I wasn't able to find it. LEGO does way more than just hide little items like this though, and what they did for the roller coaster set from the Creator Expert theme is probably one of the coolest packaging Easter eggs they've ever done. In the top right corner of the box, you can see an orange hat flying off of someone's head, and when you actually build the set, LEGO has you put that same hat on the ground. Obviously, where the hat landed isn't anywhere near where it flew off the person's head, but I absolutely love how LEGO tied their box art into the actual build for the set. Another type of box art LEGO does is actually on the inside, and the best examples of this are the Bugatti Chiron and Lamborghini Sean sets. So I'll start with the Bugatti. Usually when you open up the box for a LEGO set, all you find are a bunch of plastic bags and an instructions manual. But when you open up the box for the Bugatti Chiron, you're met with boxes that line up to make a picture of the car in real life. Even the instruction manual is part of the design. And as if this isn't already enough, when you flip the boxes over, they make a picture of the back of the car too. LEGO is extremely meticulous with their high-end Technic cars, so of course they did something similar with the Lamborghini Sean set. The boxes are shaped a lot differently, but they make a picture of the rear windshield, and even though these ones aren't reversible like the Bugattis, the manuals at the bottom make a full picture of the set you're about to build. LEGO doesn't usually do anything cool with instructions like this, unless the set is really expensive. But one set that surprisingly got something similar is the Home Alone set from the Ideas theme. Now, it did retail for $300, so I guess it isn't that surprising. But in this set, you can find Kevin's battle plan on the back of the instructions. This was the key to him staying alive when he got left home alone for Christmas, so to see it in LEGO form is pretty cool. Since I'm talking about instructions, there are 2 sets that I just have to tell you about. And the first one is the Death Star, specifically the new UCS Death Star from this this year. Now, obviously, the set itself isn't that great, but since it is a UCS set, LEGO went pretty hard on the packaging. All of the pieces come in these 3 boxes, but the thing I want to show you is that the instruction manuals have the Death Star plans on them, since, you know, you're about to build the Death Star. But honestly, it's not as cool as what LEGO did for the Pirates comic from 1989, because this set is a literal comic. It came with a few minifigures you could build, but the main selling point was the 36-page comic book inside. This is the first time I've ever seen LEGO do something like this. I mean, an actual comic book for the Pirates theme is so cool. But did you know you can find LEGO boxes inside actual sets? Let me explain what I mean. The world around the modular buildings theme has gotten built up pretty well in the last few years, and since LEGO put so much time and effort into this theme, they've started weaving more things from real life into it. And one of those things are LEGO sets. If you build the assembly square set, you'll find a tile piece of the box for the cafe corner, the first set in the modular buildings theme. It has an insane resale price these days, so I guess this mom is pretty rich. But let's get back to hidden details in actual LEGO packaging. We've seen so far that LEGO loves to hide references to a set's IP, make pictures on the insides of boxes, and tell little stories through their packaging. But another thing they like to do is make specialty boxes specifically for certain sets. A really cool example of this is what they did for the Upside Down set from the Stranger Things theme. The whole thing with the Upside Down is that it's a dark version of the dimension we live in, and because of how terrible it is, it feels like everything is upside down. If this got explained in season 5, don't tell me, I haven't watched it yet. But to represent this, LEGO designed the set so it could be displayed showing Will Byers' house in the regular world and his house in the Upside Down, and they designed the box to do the same thing. On the front of the box, the LEGO and Stranger Things logos are upside down in the bottom right corner, so if you flip it over, it looks like you traveled to the other dimension. As cool as this is, it's nowhere near as cool as what they did for the Adidas sets from 2021. After their collab with Levi's in 2020, their re-partnership with Adidas was their next big collab in fashion, and they wanted to make sure people knew about it. So they made 3 sets based on the most popular Adidas shoes ever made, and the boxes for these sets were all shaped like the boxes that come with the actual shoes. People talked about this a lot when it happened, so it's kind of weird that LEGO didn't do the same thing for their recent Nike collab. People go crazy over good packaging, and the Adidas sets are proof of that, so this Nike collab really was a missed opportunity for them. But if you thought cool boxes like this were a new thing, let me catch you up, because what LEGO was doing for the Bionicle theme was super sick. Obviously, Bionicle was way more than just another LEGO theme. It went global and even got its own show on Cartoon Network, and funnily enough, LEGO was able to take something from the show and replicate it in real life. In the show, the Toas would travel in these things called canisters, so LEGO did the same thing in real life and packaged Bionicle sets in these canisters. These were obviously just for show like the Adidas boxes, but sometimes LEGO makes packaging that's practical for the set it's holding. In 2020, LEGO made a theme called Dots, and unlike your average theme with actual bricks, Dots was basically just a bunch of 1x1 tiles in different shapes. The idea was based on pixel art, and even though it didn't end up selling very well, LEGO tried their absolute hardest to make sure people liked it. So the boxes for sets in this theme came with built-in storage trays, so the builder had a way to organize all of the different pieces. This was pretty thoughtful of LEGO, but you won't believe what they did for the UCS Millennium Falcon. And the funny thing is, I'm not even talking about the actual box for the set. Back in 2017, when this version was released in stores, it was the biggest set LEGO had ever made, with over 7,500 pieces. So the box for it was absolutely huge, and it weighed a ton. LEGO didn't want anyone who bought it to have to carry it out of the store with their brute strength, since that could easily end in a lawsuit. So their solution was to make a custom box for the box with a handle and wheels on the bottom like a suitcase. That way, nobody would have to figure out how to carry it outside on their own, and instead they could just roll it right on out. I don't know if LEGO's ever done this for any other set, especially since literally everyone shops online now. So if you know of another one, definitely let me know in the comments, because this is really cool. Anyways, this next detail isn't quite as crazy, but it'll definitely make all the classic Pirates fans happy. This theme ran for over 25 years, and when it ended in 2015, a lot of fans were left without one of their favorite themes ever, but it wasn't over yet. In 2020, the Pirates of Barracuda Bay set released in the LEGO Ideas theme, which meant that a fan's take on classic pirates had actually managed to pass LEGO's review, but that's not the cool part. The cool part is that instead of using the newer box design from 2015, LEGO used the OG box design from back in the day, with the name in the top right corner and everything. Obviously, fans who lived through the Pirates era were super happy to see this, so when LEGO released the El Dorado Fortress set in the Icons theme in 2023, they used the old design again. So far, this is the only Pirates set in the Icons theme, so if they ever release another one, hopefully it'll have that same classic box design we all know and love. Moving on from that though, did you know there's a way to tell which minifigure you're getting in CMF 25? Obviously, the whole thing with these minifig series is that they're blind boxes, so you never know which minifigure you're gonna get. But apparently there was a way to tell for series 25, and it actually ties into that serial number from the beginning of the video. Now, I have no idea if any of this is true, but apparently 4 Bricks Tall on TikTok was able to get their hands on serial numbers from each country that tell you which minifigure you're getting. Once you know which country corresponds with the letter you have, you can scan the QR code and the first 7 numbers will tell you which one you have. Now, again, I have no idea how true this is, but when they opened up their pack on TikTok, they had the right one, so I guess it worked once. If any of you have tried this out, I would love to know if it actually worked. But before you tell me, let me show you something insane about the packaging for the LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga video game. Unfortunately, this was only a thing for the deluxe edition, and obviously you had to have a physical copy to be able to experience this. But when you take off the cover sleeve, you actually take off Darth Vader's mask and reveal what he looks like underneath. This is another brand new thing to me that I've never seen LEGO do, and when I saw it for the first time, I thought it was really sick. But what piece of packaging surprised you the most? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.